Later that day.
This guy's his phone in black and white.
Yeah, man. There's too much color everywhere. Colors are distracting. I'm wearing fully black. Black shirt, black pants. Sometimes you need to take out the collar so you can see life for what it really is. A wise man once said that. What is up, guys? Today, I'm going to be hanging out with a hacker so I can learn how to be a hacker. So let's get right into the video and see how this goes. Good, bro. What you doing, man?
You alright?
I'm about to head out to Chick-fil-A. Oh, not Chick-fil-A.
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Let's go get some food because I'm hungry. Have you eaten today?
Only at 0.
Yeah, I only had like rice cake.
You like rice cakes,
No, I don't have a choice, bro. The best, healthiest option I could have. If that's not like the most healthiest option. But yeah, I'm about to head to Chipotle, get some good food. But we haven't even introduced you. Like, who's this guy, bro?
Me?
Like, who's this guy holding my camera?
My name is Tadi. I am a security engineer. Focus is on application security. So all the way from mobile to web, source code reviews, all that jazz. Kind of transitioning into cloud as well. But we'll see how that goes. But that is me.
Nice. You guys probably have, I've seen him before. Probably on, not on my channel, on your channel.
Yeah, we did.
I think we did a video on like
OSCP
OSCP, yeah. I was ironically asking you about the OSCP. We're talking about OSCP, but yeah, Tadi is a security engineer. Okay, he's a hacker.
Kinda, a good one.
Yeah, that's what they all say. But yeah, I'm gonna be hanging out with Tadi today so I can learn how to be a hacker because, like, deep down inside, I want to be a hacker, right? That's deep down, I really want to be a hacker, even though I'm not one right now. I think that's all of us have that innate desire to want to be hackers. So I'm gonna learn all about what it takes to be a hacker today, and let you guys know what it takes. But first, we need to order this Chipotle before we head over there, and also find the actual place for the Chipotle. So, are you gonna order online, or you gonna order when you get there?
Probably when you get there, bro. I don't know what the menu is. I usually get Kadango, but it's almost probably the same thing.
Yeah, I order mine online because I don't know how to order in person.
I'll get a burrito.
Yeah, I need like rice and like steak or something. I don't know.
But ordering in person is kind of intimidating.
For me, it's not intimidating. It's because I don't even know all the options. Yeah, I don't know the right options. So I'm just gonna like order from the app. This time I'm actually gonna like do like double everything because last time it wasn't enough. But yeah, we better head out now. All right, so I already got my order in, and we're heading out to Chipotle. I always confuse it with Chick-fil-A all the time. But yeah, so what made you want to get into cybersecurity in the first place? Like, what was like that first inkling you had that made you think of, I think I want to do something in cybersecurity? What was that for you?
For me, my background mostly is in development, software development. So in high school, I was trying to build out an app for my school, and I was getting help from my IT teacher, and I needed to secure something because he told me it was very weird looking and we'd get hacked. Yeah. And I bumped into a video by John Hammond. From then on,
it's always John Hammond, bro. It's like always John Hammond, never Chuck or David Bumble.
Yeah, I bumped into John Hammond first. Yeah. And I kind of binged his videos, his CTF stuff, and I'm like, I could probably try this out. Yeah. And then after that, bumped into HackTheBox, and then TryHackMe, and from then on, I was just like, okay, we're gonna transition into breaking stuff instead of building it. Yeah. And that's just always been the case. I didn't grow up knowing how to be in cybersecurity like some other people tell you. Yeah. But yeah.
That's interesting. I think that also plays into the fact that content is so powerful, right? Like, you saw John Hammond's video, and like that made you want to get into the field. So those content creators, as well as ourselves as content creators as well, we sort of have an impact in the sense that, when we create content, someone sees that content, and sometimes that's their motivation to want to get into the field, which is pretty cool. It's like that continuous like cyclic effect that you saw someone else's content. Now you create content. Someone else is going to see your content and want to get into cybersecurity. I just think that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I think so too.
Yeah.
Just gonna say it here. If you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel or a blog, do it today, now.
Yes.
After watching this video.
Yes.
Go look it up.
I literally pause the video and get the process started.
Nah, don't pause. You can watch the video first.
Oh yeah. We need that much time.
Go start your channel or your blog. If you want to start a tech blog instead of like a channel, if you don't want to put your face on it, I would recommend starting out with, what is it called? The one you use for...
Mine, I use Hashnode.
Hashnode, exactly.
Yeah.
Hashnode.
It's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
Easy to set up.
Free SSL certificate. It's got good highlighting for code.
Yeah.
All that jazz. And there's people that use the platform, so you're going to get views. And then start today. Yeah,
no, definitely start today. And we're going to talk more about content like later on in the video. But yeah, so that's how you kind of got started. So what was that journey like? So it would be good if you could give us like a timeline from when you started, you watched that first video, and then the steps you took into, starting in cybersecurity. Like what was that beginning period? Let's say the first 3 to 6 months. What did that look like? Was it you just watching videos, like doing TryHackMe, HackTheBox? Those first 6 months that you didn't really know much about it, and you were just getting into it. What did those 6 months look like for you?
The first few months was just me stumbling around, trying to pop shells. That looked like it was the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know what I was doing, so I was on HackTheBox first before I tried TryHackMe, and I quickly realized I didn't know what I was doing. If you're doing a live machine on HackTheBox, it's not supposed to be a walkthrough, but I found some walkthroughs, and I'll do those. And after like getting root, I feel like I did something, but I actually hadn't done anything.
Interesting.
And I did that for a while, but I was still in high school, so I had to go back to school. And I put it in the back burner. I didn't even think about it anymore.
What year was this?
So probably like 2019.
2019,
because that was my last year of high school.
Yeah.
And then, I finished high school. COVID happened in 2020. I was at home the entire time, and then that's when I bumped into TryHackMe. Nice. So I started doing modules on TryHackMe, learning a bit more of the foundations and all that. Doing the beginner level CTFs, the pickle rigs, the Mr. Robot ETF, that sort of stuff. Pretty fun. And then I wanted to come to the US for school, like university, since I just graduated high school. That didn't really work out because of COVID. And then my mother already lived here, so she's like, I could probably get you guys here. Yeah. And so we started working on that.
By the way, do you mind telling us where you were coming from?
At this time, I was living in both Zimbabwe and South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad lived in South Africa, my sister lived in Zim. So I was just switching between both. So since I couldn't go to school in the US because of COVID and all that jazz, I went to the University of Cape Town in South Africa.
Nice.
And there's no dedicated cyber degree, so I was going to do computer science. So I started there, computer science, and the entire time I kind of had security in the back of my mind, because I'm doing coding stuff, and I'm like, okay, how can this be secure? etc. So this is now 2021.
Right.
And I still know close to nothing.
Even with TryHackMe and everything you were doing?
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't really doing it seriously. It was just more of a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But then my visa finally came out.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm like, okay, cool, I can go to the US. And in the US, cybersecurity is a big thing. You make a ton of money. And I didn't complete my first year at UCT. I dropped out second semester and moved to the US. As soon as I got here, I started working on the EJPT. I didn't have money though, so I had to get a job and then pay for the EJPT. Did that. As soon as I was done with the EJPT, moved on to the PNPT. Did that, failed.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw that video.
Yeah, I failed. I think it was twice.
The PNPT?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of weird, but I then passed it third time. Nice. After that, worked on the OSCP.
Third time's the charm.
This is all in 2022.
Yesterday was last year was
2023, right?
Yeah,
so this was all in 2022.
Okay.
EJPT was end of 2021.
Okay.
PNPT beginning of 2022. OSCP was completed around the middle of 2022.
Nice.
And then just after the OSCP, I was already making content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I made a video about the OSCP and I posted about it on LinkedIn, and a ton of recruiters reached out. I did a couple interviews.
Right.
And turned out to be a security engineer.
So the question kind of started from me asking you what those first 6 months looked like, and that turned into like your entire journey. But that's good though. That's good though. And we can kind of break that down a little bit. So you say you started with HackTheBox, and you were just kind of fooling around, trying to like pawn boxes, root boxes, whatever the case is. You're trying to do that, all of that stuff, but like it wasn't really making much sense. Then you moved on to TryHackMe, and that was kind of where you started learning a little bit more. But in terms of like the difference between HackTheBox and TryHackMe, right? I know people would be like, TryHackMe is like a lot more beginner friendly, helps you learn in a more guided way. But do you think that period when you were just messing around rooting boxes without really knowing what you were doing or taking it serious, do you think like that period was helpful in the grand scheme of things in terms of like getting an understanding, or it was just irrelevant because you weren't learning anything at all?
It was kind of both helpful and a waste of time, because if I had stuck to a certain structure, I would have made a lot more progress quicker. But at the same time, it helped me find what I actually like, because then I was kind of dabbling in both blue team and red team stuff, and I then started focusing on the red team stuff once I realized I needed to do something structured.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of helpful, but also a waste of time.
Okay.
At the same time.
So what? So since you were dabbling, in both like blue team and red team stuff, what eventually made you move towards the offensive side? Because of course, like TryHackMe has like the defensive modules, the defensive labs, and all of that, and you definitely like played around with those things. I think I saw some of your videos where you even had like these like purple team type scenarios where you were attacking a box and then analyzing the logs and security onion and the alerts. So you definitely did your own fair share of like doing the offensive, defensive, and somewhere in the middle. But what was the determining factor for you to focus solely on offensive security?
To be honest, I don't know. It's kind of just what I ended up sticking to. But at the same time, I still think defensive stuff is important. That's why I ended up doing like the purple team stuff, looking at security onion, etc. And I'm probably gonna go back to more defensive stuff as well as I progress in my career, because I think it's important to know how to leverage and evade that stuff if you know how it's used. So it'll make me a better hacker in the long run still.
Gotcha. Cool.
How do you want to set this up?
Huh?
I said, how do you want to set the cameras up?
Let's see what you got first.
What I got?
Yeah, what you got?
Burrito, white rice.
That's a big burrito.
Black beans, steak, salsa, regular salsa. There's the other one. Corn salsa, sour cream, and lettuce.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yep.
So I got, I don't even remember what I got. It's a burrito bowl.
Burrito bowl.
with some steak. Okay, yeah. So with steak, extra brown rice, light black beans, light medium green, and light hot red. I don't know what those mean, but it's like I don't know. You'll see it.
I hope it looks good.
I know it's gonna look good. See, I wish this was like double what it is right now. Like, I feel like I'm gonna need to order another plate of this.
Probably, I would.
yeah. This is not gonna be. It's gonna be enough. But I'll start with it. We'll see.
I think we should go eat in the car.
Did you go in the car?
Did you eat in your car?
Yeah, I in my car.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We decided to finally come back and eat in the car because, well, for one, the music was loud.
And the lighting was terrible.
And people would have thought we were weirdos.
We're just not used to vlogging. It's a hard task.
All right, so we just got done eating, and that was because we realized that it wouldn't be feasible for us to eat and talk, except, like you said, if this is going to be a mukbang, what's the word?
Mukbang
Mukbang cybersecurity video, which it's not going to be. because we know that you viewers are very critical people. So let's kind of come back to where we stopped. So you talked about your whole journey, but you did mention that you were in school at the time. So why didn't you just focus on school, like to maybe like major in like a cybersecurity, or because you also said you had like a development background, like or software development or software engineering, computer science, whatever. Why didn't you just focus on school and just do the regular route rather than going all the way around doing EJPT, all that TryHackMe stuff, PNPT? Like, why wasn't school your main focus when you were already a student?
The biggest reason for me was money. School here is very expensive.
You can say that again.
Very expensive. So I wanted to see if I could land a decent job without going back to school, which kind of worked out. I told myself I'd give myself a year, and by the time the year was over, I did go back to school. But at the same time, around that time, that's when I got an offer to work full time. So I kind of stopped again. I'll continue soon enough, probably do WGU. But yeah, the biggest reason was because money, expensive.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so you decided to do all of that. Okay, then why did you choose those specific certifications, right? So you did the EJPT, PNPT. You could have done what everyone else typically does: CompTIA A+, Never Plus,
Yeah.
Security Plus, even Pentest Plus, right? Why did you do the EJPT, the practical one, the PNPT as well?
Studying isn't, I mean, I'm not like the dumbest person on the planet, but I don't like studying. I grew up at a very strict school and all we did was study. And being able to do something practical was a lot more beneficial to me, and I preferred to do that. So that's why I chose the EJPT and the PNPT and then the OSCP.
Right.
In hindsight, I probably would still do the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
At some point I thought I'd need to do the Security Plus, maybe the Pentest Plus, but it worked out that I was able to just skip them and get a job. But if you think you need to do that, then go for it.
Okay, let's actually analyze that. If you think you need to do that, go for it. What do you mean by that? Are you endorsing those certifications even though you didn't do them and didn't need to do them? Like, what did that statement mean?
It's more of the route you want to take and how much money you have, because some of these certifications are expensive. Comparing the OSCP to something like the Sec Plus, you could get all three of them, right? A Plus,
yes,
Network Plus, and Sec Plus,
and more,
PNPT and EJPT with just the money you could get for the OSCP. Right. So if you don't have that much money, do whatever you can. I think that was the biggest factor for me, because I had to borrow money to take the OSCP. I borrowed for my mother. I'm like, okay, I'll pay you back in installments for like 6 months, and she's like, cool.
Yeah.
And that's how I was able to do it. But at the time, if I hadn't had anyone to borrow from, I probably wouldn't have done the OSCP. So that was like the biggest factor for me, to be honest.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so essentially do what makes the most sense for you, like where you're at financially.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But even in that regards, like a lot of the practice and learning that you did, especially for the OSCP, given that the OSCP material is not necessarily what you used to learn, I mean, aside from proving grounds.
Yeah.
Most of your other practice was either TryHackMe or HackTheBox. Would you also say like those were good investments in the sense that that monthly subscription you have for TryHackMe or HackTheBox is also beneficial over, maybe taking certifications, for example? Or would that be a little far-fetched?
I think it's beneficial. Just plan out so that you don't pay for a month you don't end up using. I usually do that sometimes, pay for HackTheBox, and then I cancel the subscription, and then that month I don't end up using it. So just have a solid plan, stick to it. When you need to then use it, pay for it and use it. It's not expensive, it's like $10. But I'm saying that because I'm in the US. In other countries, that's times 15. So,
that's true.
Yeah, just make sure you plan it out and use it when you need to use it. But it is very beneficial.
Yeah, definitely agree. Right now, I don't have a HackTheBox or TryHackMe subscription. I have other subscriptions, though, for other learning websites. These days, I typically tend to do like a yearly subscription because it keeps me more indebted, because I'm like, okay, I paid a whole year's worth for this subscription. I better be using it. Sometimes I don't, which is like a fault of for myself. But that's definitely good advice. you talked about certifications, all of that, talked about college, all of that. Let's talk about how you actually got into the industry. So we talked about the journey there, those things that you did, setting the pace to eventually get in there, passing the OSCP on your first attempt, as a matter of fact. So after getting all these certifications, doing all these things, what did applying for jobs and eventually getting a job as a security engineer look like? Especially not having a degree, for one, not having any very specific cybersecurity work experience, and just having these certifications. What did that experience look like for you?
Actually getting to a point where you start interviewing was pretty much the most difficult part. I personally think, based on my personality and my background, interviewing for me isn't as difficult, especially considering I think I'm persuasive and likable, and I can get my point across. So getting to the interview was the hardest part, because you need either referral, or a recruiter might just have to like your resume and pick it out of the thousands of people that apply. So I did apply to a ton of jobs, and then at some point I had recruiters reaching out to me because I'd been making content, been rambling on the socials about the stuff I'm doing, and
you had some notoriety.
Yeah, and then I know one of the engineers on my team currently, he had noticed me when I started studying for the OSCP, and then when I posted that I finally found it, that's when he's like, we need to get this kid. And he told me that after the whole interview process. He's like, I've been watching some of your videos, I like them, and I was like, we need someone like this on the team. So I think it really just depends on what you're doing for yourself, putting yourself out there. And then when you actually get to the interviews, be sociable, be likable, get your point across. Those are very important skills, I think. If you ask me, two of the important skills that you need are interpersonal skills, apart from your technical skills. And so if you're able to talk to people, make them like you, you get really far in the interviews. And then once you're inside, it's a whole lot easier to then start moving up, hopefully.
That's definitely good insight. And it's kind of interesting that we have similar experiences, in the sense that someone saw my YouTube video. I've had multiple people actually see you on my YouTube videos and be like, hey, I think you'd be a really good fit for this role, stuff like that. And that makes me want to ask a question about content, making content, and not just content, also having some sort of visibility online, on LinkedIn, especially, because that's where a lot of recruiters or hiring managers are on, and they see things. They're watching, people are watching, but they realize it or not. So they're looking at what you're posting, and I see some people just post random things without context. And I'm like, this is not yeah, it's good you're posting, but this is not gonna help you in any way. So what did you do? What were you posting? What were your social interactions like in your what were the things that you were posting online, specifically LinkedIn and on YouTube, that really caught people's attention? You weren't, I'm sure you weren't just posting your thoughts online. You were doing something and posting it. People were like, oh, this is really interesting. I think this is somebody that I would like to work with. What were those things you were posting?
At that time, I was mostly just posting projects I was doing.
Okay, projects?
I was building stuff with Python. I was doing my home lab project at the time. And that's most of what I would post about. And I'll try my best to not seem like I know everything. I'd make sure that I get the point across that I'm documenting my learning process. Not telling you what to do. I know everything, that sort of stuff. So I think that's just something everyone needs to do. Like I said before, if you're thinking of starting a channel, do it.
Yes.
It could change your life. Probably will.
Then again, make sure you're posting quality content.
Exactly.
Quality content is important.
And if you're starting a blog, do so. Spam it everywhere, but maybe not spam. Spam isn't a good word. Right. Just put yourself out there. Make content that could help others in the future. At the same time, it's helping you learn. Don't come off as a douchebag, like you know everything, because you don't. And hopefully you won't be labeled as a grifter. Because there's a lot of that going around. People making content to just try to sell products and services. So be helpful, and soon enough you'll be lucky.
I think it's also important to highlight the fact that you're not trying to come off as someone who knows everything. You're not here to necessarily educate people or stuff like that. You're here to share your journey.
Yeah.
And in the process, you might be educating people, right? For me, when I first started out, it was just me sharing my journey. Over time, of course, it turned into me sharing what I was learning, right? And you could definitely learn from what I'm learning, right? What I'm sharing, but you're not trying to come off as a subject matter expert on something that you just learned yesterday or last week. You're here to show what you've learned and how you did it, and hopefully in return, someone is able to pick something from that, right? So definitely don't want to come off as someone who knows everything, right? Because some people will make videos and be like, oh, they come off as they're like a subject matter expert on a topic they just recently learned, and that could be a little bit of a turnoff for people who might watch the video. So I think that's definitely good insight. Then you talked about projects. What can you say about projects, like the importance of projects? Because I am a big advocate for projects. I'm always saying do projects. I'm always saying like do a home lab, do projects in like Python, stuff like that. And you took a different approach to that. You did like the keylogger in Python. You also did like these home lab projects. You did like vulnerable machine ones. You did the ones where you did like purple teaming stuff as well. So what was your approach to projects in a way that was going to show what you wanted to do? Because those projects were indicative of what you wanted to do in the industry, right? Which was offensive stuff, maybe a little bit of defensive stuff, somewhere in the middle. So how did you go about doing those projects in a way that showed what you were actually interested in the industry, not just doing like random things? Like you could have done like a malware analysis project, but I mean, of course, maybe you'd have learned from it or it might have been beneficial, but it wouldn't have necessarily been directly relevant to what you wanted to do, which was offensive security. So what was your approach to those projects?
At first, I was just doing random projects, to be honest.
Okay.
And then I bumped into Grant Collins. He has a website. I think it's
Cyber Academy.
Cyberacademy.org.
Yeah.
.org. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah. He has like an outline of projects you can do for offensive people. So he has Python projects and other stuff. And then so I picked the Python projects. I did the keylogger one. I'm pretty sure I did another one. I just didn't post about it, but it's somewhere on the GitHub or something. And then in terms of the home lab stuff, I mostly did it because it seems like everyone has a home lab series.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to try it out. I did learn a lot from it, networking stuff, configuring stuff. And so I think you just have to find a structure to your projects that align with what you want to do, really. Because if you do things haphazard, you then take longer to learn what you need to learn. And so find a creator that you like. Hopefully they have an outline of projects they have done. You can try emulate that, learn from that, read a lot of documentation, and just try learning on your own as well. That really works. I don't know if that answers the question, to be honest.
I think that's a good answer to the question. I think Grant Collins is definitely someone who has really, really good projects and really good content overall. Yeah. Like definitely someone I would look up to when it comes to like content creation and cybersecurity. And he has a ton of projects on this channel.
Yeah, a lot of projects.
Like Python projects.
Python stuff.
He has like
home server.
Home lab stuff.
Raspberry
stuff. Cloud stuff too as well. Definitely go watch his channel. And I'll leave a link to Cyber Academy's projects. They have a ton of good projects on there. But I think we've kind of gone over all of those things that were really important. So from your perspective now, if you were to give advice to someone who is looking to break into cybersecurity in 2023 with the current like climate of the industry, the economy, it's crazy, man. But with the way things are, like what advice would you give to that person right now? Like, take this first step and then build from there. What would that advice be from you?
I would say pick a certification or a couple of certifications that you want to do that align with what you want to do. While you're doing those, reach out to people that you feel like you'd want to work with. Have a list of places you'd like to work. Start reaching out to the engineers. Don't make it generic, because if you reach out to someone and say, hi, this is my name, I'd like to connect, they're probably going to connect, but they won't remember you for anything.
Yeah.
Except the fact that you were boring. So reach out to engineers at places you might want to work at. Let them know what you're doing, that you're interested in working there if they might have anything open in the future. And that's while you're building your technical skills, because someone might reach out and then you get your interview. You tell them you're still learning. if you don't know how to answer a question, but make sure they like you. They like your personality, because people have like cultural fit interviews.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you're good at it, you could probably fit in any culture.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're just a trash person, you're not gonna fit anywywhere.
Yeah.
So
pretty much learn social engineering skills.
Yeah, social engineering. The interpersonal skills are very important, to be honest. I think that's the most important thing, apart from your technical skills. Of course, you're gonna need the technical skills, but that's not gonna come up unless it's a technical interview.
Right.
And then at some point, you're talking to maybe the co-founder, the CTO, or whoever is at the top there, and they're like, I just don't like this kid. Why? Because, you know, you're just a brain full of information, and you can actually talk to people. So I think the interpersonal skills are good, apart from the certifications. If you want to take the college route, you could probably do that. Make sure you go to career fairs. I know colleges have a ton of that. So you can start networking from there. And then hopefully maybe by like your third year, your fourth year when you're graduating, you get an internship, you get offered, or you get a return offer. Stuff like that, you know, generic stuff.
Yeah,
but
man.
Just be smart about it. Be likable. Be likable.
Be likable. Yeah, man. Be likable. But that's definitely good advice. But I think we can wrap this up. You've definitely outlined really, really good things that will be very beneficial for anyone who wants to break into cybersecurity, whatever field it is. I think that's very good as well, because it wasn't like agnostic. Maybe next time we could talk about offensive security specifically, but I think this was definitely good at the entry level. I should probably take you back to your car so you can head back home. But yeah, I'm gonna go drop my Chipotle plate in the trash, and then we'll head out and call it a night.
It's only 6:29, bro. I have nothing to do tonight.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's my phone.
This guy's his phone in black and white.
Yeah, man. There's too much color everywhere. Colors are distracting. I'm wearing fully black. Black shirt, black pants. Sometimes you need to take out the collar so you can see life for what it really is. A wise man once said that.